Hi, everyone. Welcome to another talk on seasonal wisdom and the turning of the wheel of the year. Here we are at the top of August, where we get to celebrate the gateway of Lammas, or Lunasa, also known as Lunastral in Scottish tradition, which is the tradition of my ancestors primarily. Lunasa is more Celtic Irish, and Lammas is Germanic, Nordic, Northern European. And this particular gateway is a festival of the beginning of harvest time. So, beginning to celebrate the turning of the wheel towards the autumn. And so, in the earth based traditions, this particular moment marks the beginning of autumn. So we can really begin to notice through our sensory experience during our sit spots and our walks outside and noticing the shift in the weather of like, what do the mornings feel like? What do the evenings feel like? Here in Appalachia, they're getting quite cool. So even though the midday sun is still high and bright, we're beginning to notice that the days are getting shorter. The sleep is getting a little bit longer. I've noticed with my little one, my young child is starting to sleep a little later in the morning because the sun is coming up a little bit later, which has been a delight for me. The evenings and the color of the afternoon, the earth is shifting from the greenness of high spring and high summer into the goldenness. So beginning to really feel the tones shift of gold and deepening and ripening and the deep colors of the blackberries that are ready at this time and just starting to really attune to the energetic. So Lammas, Lunasa, Lunastral, which also means harvest, is often marked in the Gregorian calendar August 1st, August 2nd. But in our more cyclical, like lunar earth calendars, we have true Lammas, which is when the sun is at 15 degrees Leo, which is the zodiac sign that we're in at this time of year. And thinking about our ancestors who could actually track that visually through the day and the night sky. When the sun is at 15 degrees Leo, is astrological Lammas or true Lammas. And so that is in the celestial calendar and the earth-based calendar. And in the lunar calendar, lunar Lammas and that festival is always marked as are all of the cross-quarter holy days and gateways. They're marked by the new moon closest to that time. So the new moon this year, 2025, is August 9th. So lunar Lammas actually falls on the 9th. So we have a date on this 1st and 2nd, the 7th and the 9th. So these gateways get to be broad and they get to be movable and they're not fixed and they really meet I find that this really meets us in our modern era when we have a sense of overfullness and we feel like we have to like ritualize the exact day at the exact time. And really the invitation is spaciousness. And this gateway, moving us into the season of Lammas, Lunasa, Lunastral, the season of the first harvest, which goes from now until autumn equinox. And this time actually marks the halfway point between summer solstice and autumn equinox. So we're really in the twofold perspective of the Earth year. We are into high late summer, but in what feels more resonant for me is in the energetic and in the ancestral calendar, we're moving into that early autumn experience of the first of three festival harvest gateways, which is this time, Lammas, Lunasa, um, autumn equinox, Mabon, and Samhain at the end of October, early November, also known as Halloween and the time of the ancestors, which is the third and final. Samhain means summer's end. And so if we look at the twofold lens of the earth-based year of like just high winter and high summer, Beltane is the beginning, Samhain is the end. And so we have the light half, the dark half. I personally absolutely love this gateway in this season, in the compass, in the eightfold path of the wheel of the year. This time lands us right in the southwest, and that southwest time on the compass of the human experience is all about pausing, is taking a rest, it's being in reflection. And is inviting us to pull back from the fullness. So we're in a little bit of the waning energy, which feels so good to me. It's like a balloon that gets full and full and full through June and July, and we expand. And then right when we come to this gateway, I feel like we start to let the air out a little bit and we can find ourselves again. We can find ourselves, our connection to our people, our family, the earth. We're still in the season of gathering, the medicine herbs. We're starting to turn our attention towards what's going to really support us growing into the winter. We might even begin to gather the items we need to make, like for our fire ciders, so those can start steeping, for our medicinal broths, and starting to bring some warming foods and herbs into our life so we can fortify our immune system for the coming cold times. I love this sense of the feeling of the descent, moving back from what's so bright and light into the more subtle, nuanced expressions of earth and moon and sky, and how that can inform our very own bodies and our hearts and our spirits. So we just pull back a little bit from the edge. This is not a edge pushing time. This is like a movement inwards, a slow descent inwards, which will be at the height at winter solstice. And to begin to embrace like the gathering and the letting go, to embrace reaping what we have sown and being in like what's coming into fruition, what's in it's ripening still, but also backing off a little bit from any force or effortfulness of trying to make it happen. So a few ways that you can celebrate and mark this gateway in this seasonal shift for the next 6 weeks or so. One would be to feast your friends and family, feast yourself, feast your friends and family. Begin to be with bounty and the receiving of bounty in the and from the earth. Also, feast through perspective taking, like what you have, what you get to reap, what you are experiencing, what you get to receive even more fully from all of your labors, whether it's in your professional life, your family life, your body life, your spiritual wellness. Like, where have you grown? Where are you ripening? And where do you get to receive from all of that energy and effort? It's a great moment to take a pause, to just be in the practice of going on a mindless wander, maybe like every day in the late afternoon, to go without agenda, without hyper focus, and to just be in the experiencing. So, this time of year is also very sensory driven versus intellectually driven, and the opportunity to put your feet up, you know, put up the hammock if you haven't already. Let yourself have a swing on the porch swing, actually or metaphorically, of what that looks like for you to rest, to pause, to sit down, put your feet up, pull back a little bit, and to be in that southwest time of the no thingness, which helps us to garner and gather the energy within of what's needed for the final passage through the second and third harvest of the year till we get to the winter, the deep rest. I hope that you enjoy this time, and may it bring you many blessings and an opportunity to pull back from the edge of fullness and to begin to be in the depth of receiving and fortifying, noticing what's fruiting. It's also a really good moment, and this is where I'm at personally this year, of is there anything else that's seeking to be birthed before the coming winter and coldness? Is there anything else that needs some energizing? Any offerings, any experiences I want to have for myself with friends or family that I do really feel instinctually want to be experienced and developed before the full descent? And so check that out for yourself as well. What is ripening? What do you need to bring into full fruition? All right, wherever you are in this journey, I hope that this talk provides a little bit of a map of what's possible at this time, how to care for ourselves, and I send you many blessings of the Southwest. May your harvest be bountiful and full and deeply fortifying for you and your people. Peace and blessings.